like that one, but we are just about to jump into this one, ladies and gentlemen. The first map of this series. It's going to be starting on Moravanka. Kazna Kru going on the attack, and NAVI, the name means born to win, will be defending.
We can see Kazna coming straight out with a lot of bad chats. They want to take map control straight from NAVI. They want to control the game against NAVI. NAVI sending up the 3090 to the east side to get some spots to know where Kazna is going.
Hyber here on your screen now. He'll be in the RU251, as he often does take a bit more of a utility role on his team. Gone are the days where it'd be the man in the IS-3 leading the spearhead. Now he's just spread out to gain some information. There's a couple of bat chats there with him as well, so Kazna Kru can effectively deny any egress for NAVI over on that side of the map. It's a lighter presence for Kazna over on the western side.
You can see actually Navi's playing really passive, E5 in the base hill, bad jets on the 1-2 line. They're afraid of a push. You can see the 5 bad jets. Maybe, you see, there's the starting cap right now. They got the STB1 behind him. Navi's going to try maybe rotating around the east side to see that.
This is really important. Inspire has been lit already. He wants to move up into a position where he can either see Durs Initiative or reset him. The problem is he was spotted way back by, I believe, Uralfish, so he's not super safe now trying to go in for these resets. He hasn't yet spotted Durs. You can see Inspire just scouring the area, trying to locate that batchat capping here. Already, we're a quarter of the way through here, so this probably won't be a completed cap, but NAVI have to respond to this. This is going to draw them out of these passive positions, and you can see Rhino now is coming up that hill to try and get some shots.
Kazna's making a guess right here. They're not putting that much tanks on the left side. They're hoping NAVI dedicates so much tanks to the east side with their 4 bad jets that they rotate to the east side and they can catch them out.
Now the thing is, Rhino, if he pushes around, if he dares to do that, there's not a whole lot of punishment awaiting him. It's just the STB and the bat chats. So, you know, I don't know if he'll go for that. I don't know if that's really part of Navi's mindset in terms, but there's a bat chat coming across from the east to the west. They might try and sneak him onto the cap and double that time, but now Rhino's going to push forward, forcing Durs off. That's a very low risk, high reward play from Navi. Take no damage, and they stop the cap progress.
With this move, Navi also saw there's no one on the 1 line from Kazna. No one is covering them. Are they going to make him move forward and try to take them out right now?
They might try and bait Navi to move up in a bit of a conclave and then sort of jump on top of them. You can see the bat chats now. They're descending for a fight. Now Hyber moving on towards cap point number 2 is going to start that one off, try and keep Navi's attention split a little bit, but Alien takes the first hit from Straight as he pushes up, and a second as well. A little bit cavalier from that man there as well. As we can see Nexus now getting hammered. Navi have excellent defensive positions, and Kazna got to be careful how far they're going to push forward here.
Navi was fully prepared for this. You got all the bad jets sniping in the back with the STB1. 3090 has control over the right cap. Kazna right now is stuck. They have to get out. They have to reset their game and relax.
Alien doesn't look all that fussed right now, but he's taking a fair bit of damage, and so did LD Nexus. Trying to get up on the hill on the bat chat, you don't have good gun depression. It's not really the kind of hull-down tank in any case, so trying to go for those peaks a little bit risky. They've traded a little bit of damage back, as we have seen. It's hard to see in first person, but Hyber is constantly sneaking up. He wants to try and reveal these Navi players sitting back in these defensive positions and allow Kazna to know what they're dealing with right now. But you can see Nexus fairly low. Alien's taking some damage, but they've been able to respond. Rhino, not so tanky anymore. Not so much help for that Bruiser of a 110 E5, who will be in a great position to get those resets, but here it is. This is the pullback. Durs is going to head through the middle road, and Uralfish is going to get the heck out of dodge, and Kazna Kru are going to reposition.
Kazna got their info. They know they need to get out of here. They know there's a 3090 on the right side. Hyba has been permanently spotted for the entire game so far, and now he's getting out of there.
He's going to be on the move here, back over towards the forest. So that's Kazna Kru attempting a bit of a stab at the heart of Navi, but again, haven't quite found the chink in the armor here for this Russian side. Anatolish now moving up as well. He took a bit of damage after those early trades, and Vetso and Durs Initiative are lit here consistently. So Rhino, at his leisure, can peek up, have a shot, and back up.
The question right now for Kazna is, what are they going to do? They know the west side is impossible right now. Navi is fully prepared for this. Their bad jets are spotted rotating out. They have to take control over the east side right now. They have 6 minutes left on the timer. They got some initial damage on Rhino, also on Anatolic. They can still take this game.
And Rhino happy enough as well, taking some damage here as well for the information that he's gaining about the repositioning of Kazna. This is incredibly important. Navi, not a team to ever want to get blindsided, especially with this kind of setup that is rather static, at least currently. Although their lineup itself, fairly mobile. So if Navi do need to kick things into gear, they're going to be able to do that if they want. No blood really spilt yet. Kazna still with a full cohort of tanks for the moment, but Alien, you can see he's teetering on a knife edge here. Coming forward, he's been spotted and he knows that as well, so he's unlikely he's really going to peek any further out.
The Shah right now is buying time for Navi. He's still sitting in the bush. Aryu is really close to him, but they need to proxy spot him to see him. There's so much bushes on Moravanka. You need to blind shot so much bushes. They have to find him quickly or the game will be done.
So either Kazna have to get so close to Lev Shah that they can literally detect or see the tank through the bushes, or Lev Shah has to fire or move away. He might fire here. This may reveal him. It does drop his camo rating, but he's going to sit in the bush. Now, again, there's no reason for him to fire. He's definitely not a strong gun. There's just no point getting the damage off. Kazna, they're not going to spot him unless they get really close. Within 50 meters is proxy spot radius as well. And Nevshar fancies a bit of... Just keeping an eye on exactly what Hyber's doing. Going to radio that back to his team here. And this is a very passive play from Navi, which is probably what we expect. And Kazna Kru can't fall into this trap. They can't respect these guys too much.
Yeah, Navi right now, just they don't have to do anything. Kazna is in a driving seat. You can see the RU was 82 meters away from the shot. They need to make the decision to send in the RU to spot him or to just to rotate and push on the other side. They need to make a move soon. We've got 4.5 minutes left for now, Kazna.
Hyber needs to get at least 32 meters closer to Levshar if he actually wants to detect his presence. So a couple more spots coming in for Kazna Kru. You can see on the minimap, those dots are the last known locations of tanks for Hyber to see. We, of course, could see it all, but in this first-person view, we see exactly what the man himself does. So this is, I mean, them trying to play off of what they did see and maybe make some conjecture as to where the opponents are sort of moving here as well. But Hyber, not in a great place to do a whole lot, especially with Levshar so close. He knows he's constantly lit. Now, the thing is with Hyber being constantly lit, he's not getting his light bulb up. So he doesn't actually know, have I not been spotted, now been respotted? He has to assume he's still visible. That would be the correct decision, but it's hard to say.
With Hyber thinking that he's not spotted, they think the 3090 is around in another bush, you know, more towards the north. So right now, Levshar can just keep sitting there. They're not going to shoot at this location. They think it's clear. And in the end, if Kazna watch this back, they'll be like, what? How is this even possible? Why is he sitting there? Why did we not see that?
If we've got to Levshar later on, we might be able to see some of the equipment he's got there, but he should have essentially camo net and binocs on it if he's not going to move. Yeah, so there you go. So he's got vents, binocs, and that camo net. So obviously extra camo when you're not moving from the net. So it just makes it that much harder to see when you're in a bush. It's just the perfect setup here for that passive scout. When we say that, we mean he's not moving.
So right now we can see Hyber moving up, moving towards the building, hoping to spot Levshar. If he gets to the building, he's still not going to proxy Levshar. Levshar's just going to sit there. They're going to shoot at Hyber, but Hyber's now stuck at the building.
So Hyber has to assume he's been lit the whole time. Now that his light bulb hasn't come up a second time, and he's taken 2 big hits and falls back behind the building. This is Kazna Kru just putting their nose to the grindstone and getting very, very little back for it. That's the wrong bush for Hyber to be blind firing towards, and Navi will choke this one out. 2 minutes and 42 seconds left in this game. It's not going to be enough time, and Kazna don't have enough health to really try and take Navi head on.
Hyber is still sitting there. He thinks he's not spotted right now. So if Levshar gets spotted right now, he'll kill Hyber. He'll die for it, but they got him. You can see right now they're going for the cap. They think it's clear. Badget gonna be taken down like this.
Levshar won't fire, of course. You're just keeping tabs on him. Obviously, in his rangefinder, he can approximately tell how far away the object is that he's looking at. So he knows that they're not 50 meters. He knows that he's going to be pretty safe. Alien just gets smacked there on the cap. And this is Kazna Kru not realizing where Levshar is and how he's actually spotting them out. It's perfect play from Navi. Yeah, it's a little bit more static, but that's all they have to do to choke this one through. We're down now to 2 minutes, and Kazna Kru, they've got to go for something, man. I'm telling you, just don't have the time. That's Rhino. Finally pick off Nexus. Now at Navi, you're in position to start firing. So now going to take a couple shots in towards him. Stefan moving forward as well, trying to challenge, but they're running fairly low on health points. Knows Kirilloi does take a little bit of damage on the side, but those bat chats for Kazna Kru need to get involved.
Now Levshar finally getting spotted. He wanted to take down Hyber. Vets are going low. Alien going low. 3090 being taken down finally, but there's 1.5 minutes left on the timer.
Not much time left at all. Strike moving across the top of the hill. It's Rhino to pick up Alien now as well. Another bat chat falling, but Stefan still fancies himself a little bit of a fight here with Strike, but he doesn't have the support right now. He has a very low teammate just behind him, and the Karate Kid will have to fall. And now Vetso getting his slide on up towards the top of the hill. He's only got 2 shots to go. He knows it's all but done here. And Navi, they've played it correctly. It may not be the most explosive game, but it's definitely well executed, and there's an extra... Not a whole lot the man could do. He knows exactly where Navi is. He knows that they are descending towards him at a rate of knots, and Kazna need to be discussing now how this next round will work out for them, because Muravanka, definitely a bit of a bum steer. That's going to be it. There's an Ishtar will fall, and it's going to be Navi to take the first round here. Solid defense.
Solid round, 5k HP left. Kazna need to watch out right now. They do not need to get tilted. That guy was in the bush. There was some miscommunication with the 3090 being there. I'm spotting him all the time. Kazna did not realize that. They have to react and they have to stay calm.
Says a heck of a lot, actually, about this, the way this game works, about how strategies work in World of Tanks, where one tank in one bush can literally be the difference between winning and losing, or at least definitely was the cause of all of Kazna Kru's woes in that game. I mean, you can only blind fire so many bushes. There's a risk when you blind fire that you can be spotted. You need to know that I have to blind fire from a safe location, because yes, I'll be lit, and if they have tanks on the hill, I'm just going to be mincemeat. So hard to do. That limits your options for blind firing bushes. You don't have an artillery, and even with one of those, maybe a Lorraine 155-51, you could bring that one in and actually, with a faster fire rate, but still definitely seemed like Kazna just clutching at straws there.
There's so much options where the 3090 can be in. You can see Lachage just sitting here, enjoying his campfire, you know, and his marshmallows, not doing anything, just sitting there. He's the MVP of Navi right now. Navi won it 7-1 with tanks. Unbelievable.
This says a lot about how important the information game is in general, of course. You know, that's why scouts are played. That's why you see tier 8s like the AMX 3090 being brought in. Sometimes he'll be an active scout, like you see in RU and Prohorovka. He'll have to move around a little bit, but quite often, it's entirely reasonable to sit yourself up in a bush and just try and give you information to your team. Obviously, you radio that across to your teammates. They can set up, and Navi took their time before those shots started coming in. Kazna moved up to the cap, and they actually didn't see any pressure from Navi initially, except for Elian being forced away. But once Rhino was in position, it was pretty much a simple game there.
You can see the state of Kazna right now. If you look at their faces, they're very grim. They're not really happy after this first round. Strike in his sniping 2.5k, Inspirer 2.8k, and you can see Stefan in the end doing the 2.6k with 19 blind shots.
Yeah, it's a struggle town there. And it often is the case for attacking teams on Muravanka. If you're playing up against a well-drilled team, in a sense, you need to expect them not to give you too much there as well. It wasn't the correct decision ultimately for Kazna to pull out of that western side of the map early on.
Yeah, they needed to get out of there. If they stayed longer, they would have lost more HP. They just needed to make a decision. They need to get out of there, reset the game. They had 10 minutes. It's not like they have 5 minutes left, they have 10 minutes. They need to just relax, slowly think. Navi's not on aggression, they got time.
We have seen teams that really start to push their way down that one line as well, but that was maybe the reason why Navi hadn't set up so far towards the western cap. We talked a little bit at the start about Inspirer actually having to come forward and get information on where Desernictor was actually positioned on the cap. A little bit risky because he was spotted doing that, but really, all that happened, Rhino just pushed around the corner for a brief second, and Ders was out.
That was all the info they needed. There was no one, Navi, expecting them to push the one line with the 5 Batchets. They didn't. Then they just go to the cap. The 5 didn't even get shot. They know, bam, Batchets on the other side. Don't go there. It's a trap.
Trap indeed. Unfortunately, Kazna just had to walk into one or the other. But let's see what they can do on the defending side now. Navi are going to be going on the attack. They're going to bring the T57 Heavy. It's a tank we don't see all that often.
Really interesting, a T57 Heavy and a 5100 is looking, what are they going to do? Are they going to use the T57? Are they going to use the 5100 maybe to shield a tank in the cap? Kazna going really with a lot of medium tanks. They're going to take map control again. They're going to play it really passive though. They make sure that they have the east side, but right now you can see Navi going straight for the cap.
Seeing no time at all. Navi just want to sit up there as well, put some pressure on Kazna Kru perhaps. They definitely have the firepower, Dead. So the question remains, do they have the sustainability to deal with this one? Much like Inspire in the previous round, Eurofish has to push up, but with 3 tanks on the cap, this isn't not going to give a lot of time towards Kazna Kru. They need to react, and they need to respond, and they need to execute, but Eurofish can't spot any of these Batchats on the cap there, and Kazna don't have a hull down tank close enough to do this. We might have seen Nexus actually pushing towards the mid and try and spot from the side, straight coming forward. He's going to try and prevent any reset attempt by distracting, and I don't think Kazna can even get close to this cap.
Nexus is the only one that can decap right now. You can see Navi pushing the 1-2 line, countering the decap move. 5100 is going to shoot Nexus in the side. T57 is going to shoot him in the front.
There needs to be a reset now. He needs to get it. No, I don't think there's any time. And Navi still the round away. Do not mess with these boys. They have a strategy, a clear idea in mind. And when they execute it, you best be on your toes and you best get up early in the morning if you want to take a round like that away from Navi.
This could be the fastest game so far in this tournament. Navi just taking it with a quick cap, preparing for Kazna's move on the 1-2 line on the east side. They just got catched out.
Too much respect from Kazna Kru there in that game. You know, for all their bluff and blunder, sometimes they walk onto that stage and try and intimidate, but they are the ones that back up with their tail between their legs. They give so much ground, so much real estate over towards Navi, and they are able to push forward and take 2 rounds now as well. That was a quick one, and that's going to be important. On the off chance now, I feel that we do see a tiebreaker. That fast round for Navi is going to guarantee them their choice of side.
For Kazna right now, they have to get back in the game. They need to realize they can take the risk. They need to take the risk right now. If they keep playing passive without a risk, the chance will be small that they win a round against Navi. They have to just go for it. Just maybe do a YOLO push, put some pressure on them, change the pace of the game.
Just maybe Kazna are getting hung up on the tactical side of the game at the moment. Really just trying to poke and prod and be very tentative about it. Sometimes you just need to take the bull by the horns and, well, the rest is what Navi has shown us so far. Really don't have to dig too deep by the looks of things that far. That last round, of course, simple. Get yourself on the cap, 3 Batchats. If you need to fight, you can. Just go for it. This is confidence. Look at, I mean, this is just Lev Shah as well. All he had to do really in the middle was just get information, and these 3 Batchats finally spotted, right? But there's no one to capitalize. Eurofish moves up, but he can't get the shot.
Eurofresh can literally do nothing. You have the 2 batches prepared for his move. You got the 5100 pulling the back, the T57 ready to shoot anything that comes at them. If Kazna would have pushed straight into the 3 batches, the 3 batches could have emptied their clip. T57 does their clip, 5100. Actually, the whole lineup is autoloaded. They will do so much damage that Kazna will be losing the game overall.
And you can tell a lot as well, seeing the enemy team line up. If there's no 110 E5, if there's no of that heavy tank that you know can hull down in that position, you can make an educated guess as to where your opponents are going to be positioned. Now, here's your damage. I mean, we didn't really have to see too much there at all, and yet Stray could slide, getting it done there as well. Those bat shots being very, very important, and just a little bit too late. You know, a lot of this damage was actually done after the cap was completed, a good deal of it. So you're seeing 1,000, 1,600, mate, doesn't matter. The game was pretty much already over by that point.
Yeah, we saw no 1-2 line. Those batches wanted to block the ST1. That's where they did the damage. They did the damage on the side. On the people moving to decap, Kazna was just too late.
The German trio there for Kazna having a very quiet game. The new inclusion of Ders and Nictor, still jury is out. He's had some huge games and then some have just been quiet. But we're going to be moving on to Ghost Town here as well. And this will be interesting. Got to make it a little bit harder for Navi actually to sit behind bushes and such and just try and camp things out. It's going to be a fight one way or another. And Kazna just have to back their individual skill here.
Yeah, Ghost Town, really interesting map. A lot of corners you have to watch out for. You have to be safe as an attacker, also as a defender. For Waffenträgers, for FV183s, the question is, what is Navi going to do? Are they going to use any special tricks? What is Kazna going to do? I know from Kazna, it's not their favorite map, Ghost Town. There's just too much possibilities what the enemy can do.
You know, they pretty much don't play it at all.
Yeah.
It was their old Himmelsdorf. So this is very, very bad news indeed. Muravanka was supposed to be Kazna Kru's map. Their chance, their shot to get 2 rounds on the board, and now it looks like it might all be going wrong. But let's see if they can rewrite history. At least what we've seen statistically from Kazna Kru. This map has been a bit of a mare, and they've shot. It's going to push forward, spot on towards the northern side.
You can see Navi coming up with a triple Waffenträger. They're going to set up for a position with a cap maybe, with the R251, and then hold down Kazna with the Waffenträgers. You do not want to peek a corner on that guy.
You do have 5 Waffenträgers in total in this game. Double Conqueror for Kazna, just a little bit of extra beef. And then pushing forward, actually taking a hit from the 251. So he knows he's sitting there and actually might just try and go for left shower and take him out. But in the meantime, it does look like Kazna are ready to move forward here. They spot a Kirillod, and this is Ilya now as well, just taking the 1v1. He knows he can get good position as well. He's not even going to try and finish the fight. That's a great little spot, shot on towards the side of the Waffenträger, and that's going to force that Waffen to move forward and back a little bit and try and avoid the shot. Slide is essentially caught out here, but Hyber's taking a lot of damage. But it's just that tier 9, not such a big deal with Vetso pushing forward, but a lot of damage now going across towards Kazna Kru. Alien has to get out now, has fired all these shots, but Slide falls. That's a Waffenträger down. Vetso and Co have to move forward. Alien and Nexus. Yeah, Stefan taking damage.
Kazna realizing they have to change the pace. They're playing more aggressive now. They're going for it. They see the triple waffle. They have to make a move. We see the budget here on the side. Alien is on reload. He's running away. And Kazna just have to make sure that they do not get stuck into crossfire.
Drake is doing so much damage right now to Kazna Kru. He has the perfect little side spot. It's almost as if Navi were hoping Kazna would take the bait and push forward. However, health points are very, very even, and shots are now coming back from Kazna. It is a 5v6 situation from what we can see. So it's not bad for Kazna. Extra guns in the game, but Strike is going to continue to be a menace, but he's down to a 1-shot now. Very, very low. Tries to try and stay alive while he gets this reload off. He'll be a pain. Kazna know they need to address that threat as quickly as they possibly can, but now they seem to have stalled out a little bit. This armored column just seems to have stopped in their tracks, and Kirillod going for a little bit of a wishful peek will actually get the shot towards Eurofish. The Nexus is almost off that reload.
Kazna have to watch out right now. The Waffles reloaded from Navi. Navi's gonna make a move. They still have the HP to move in. We got Inspirer now full HP, Anatolic and full HP. They're just gonna sandwich them.
Kazna going forward at a rate of knots, but do they have enough gas left in the tank now? Nexus is gonna try and take the fight versus Inspirer. He'll probably have to take 1 hit at least. No, the shot missing from Nexus. He needs to hit these ones. And there's Anatolic. He finds Stefan. Rhino gonna be able to peek around the corner, and Kazna have walked into this one. Now Navi look like they're gonna collapse on it. A lot of kills coming out, and Kirillod able to move forward. He should be able to get the finish on towards Vetso. He will drop. We have a 4v3. Kazna Kru hanging on, but those health points are starting to look grim.
Kazna started off so good, but they're just getting sandwiched. They're getting taken out one by one from every side. The Waffles coming in with their big guns, the clipping power. Kazna being taken apart.
Vetso, the last standing bastion for Kazna Kru, and there's nothing he can do. He'll send Rhino off with a parting gift, but it's going to be Navi to take 3 in a row. And my God, their Ghost Town looks very, very good. They brought Kazna Kru into that fight. That's where they wanted to make the play. And the flanking shots coming in from the auto-loaders just left Kazna in tatters.
Kazna started off so good. They got the HP advantage. They moved in. They took down the Waffenträger. They had the one line. They had everything under control. Then they just could not decide what to do.
It's just such a tough thing as well. You know, moving forward, your plan A, it's like, yeah, just push them. It's like, well, push them in what? Where do we go from now? And that's where strategy goes out the window, and it's in-game calling. There seems to be some problems for Kazna Kru mid to late round. The big decisions that need to be made in this democratic calling society, as we can call it, it's just not working. Someone needs to stand up. We need to see Hyber especially stand up, let his voice be heard, get his troops in line. Well, this one is going to be a repeat of their score at the Continental Rumble, and that was not pretty.
Kazna needs to get in this game. They need to take rounds. They need to start focusing. They need to use their aggressive style. It worked out last round. They need to realize that it worked out. They have to just keep going after they have the nice start.
That is the takeaway, isn't it, from that last round? The early damage coming in was very good for Kazna. They took the fight. Navi seemed slightly shaken, but always ready to come from yet another angle. And this is it. The Waffentraggers did so much work here from Rhino and Anatolic. They were able to flank. They were able to come into the fight later on, especially with Rhino being focused towards first. He managed to get out and actually get a heck of a lot of damage down. Now, Conqueror for Hyber, we can accept that. Slide got focused down pretty hard as well, but Durs and Elian really need to lift a little bit more here. Kazna, a great opening, but stalling out mid-round. It's a sad thing to see, and it is a heat of the moment. It is an adaptation. It is a calling problem.
You can see here, Nexus not really happy. Kazna, they're out of... They need to focus right now. You can see Elian also not happy. But they got team spirit. They cannot have a manager behind them, but they got team spirit together. They're thinking still about next round. Focus on the next round. You need to win this next round.
Grim determination written all over the face there of Eurofish and Elian. It was a high five, maybe not an overly energetic one. Maybe they're trying to save their energy here, and it's just ice-cold focus here from Navi. They know they've come this far. They also are a team, and I've got to give them credit for this, they will respect their opponents. Until they truly know that they've got them outmatched in every way, they're not going to put a foot wrong. And that's so hard for Kazna, a team who is good at capitalizing on the mistakes made by their opponents. That's that fly by the seat of your pants kind of play. But Kazna Kru need to force an error here. They need to get in Navi's face and make them make the mistake. Tank pick's coming in now as well. It's going to be Kazna going on the attack. It will be match point if they drop this one.
Kazna going up with some DPM lineup. They're going to go south. They're going to take map control. They have the Batchet on Elian again. Elian wants to cross and get that one line and get this Batchet out from Navi. 50B also going with him and covering him.
Elian was sport for choice last round. He had a 2-5-1 to go towards, and then he turned and tried to get some damage on towards the Waffentrager. This time, set up in the south, and there's actually a 50B in there as well. So the main column of Kazna Kru still moves ahead with the Conquerors and 215Bs. Inspira there just spotted aside briefly as he's going to have to retreat back to the rest of his team. But only taking one hit for that one and lighting up in the entirety of Kazna now. So Navi, you'll see them start to filter in from the top side of the map. You can see it on the mini-map. They're approaching. Fights made in this part of the map. This is actually where Navi beat Hellraisers in that last round. This is where they really crushed them on Ghost Town. And Kazna Kru, you know, a team, you can ban out maps all you want all season, but you're eventually going to have to play a map that you may not like. You've got to be solid. And Navi, conversely, love Ghost Town, and they really know how to work it.
Something interesting also is on A3, you got the RU251 of Le Chat. He's able to spot the one cap, decap it. So this means that whole of Navi can just focus on the south. They can play slow, they have no pressure. Kazna right now is unspotted. They need to rotate, they need to get out of here, they need to get to the other side and put some more pressure on.
One man and one small tank can pretty much shut down an entire strategic approach for Kazna Kru. That's the game, and that's why innovation is important as well. Being able to get yourself up on towards one of those hills into a nice little spot. Now, this is a power slide. He's actually pushing forward, the man. Doesn't quite know exactly if Kazna Kru have gone more towards the south. They seem to be backing up, but again, with the Waffentrager, a little bit risky, of course. It's a remounted turret, so if you get tracked in the flywheel or anything moving forward, you can be hammered down. But this Kazna Kru, like you suggested, Dead Zone, they're moving out.
Navi getting the crucial info, seeing Elian rotate, getting shot right now in the back by the Batchet. Kazna needs to get out of there ASAP. Watching out for Slide. If Slide peeks right now and shoots Elian, that's going to cost him a lot.
Doesn't look like he's actually going to go for that one as well. That's just composure and patience for you now. And again, Slide, yet again on the move. I mean, honestly, one of the best players in the world, has been regarded as such for quite some time. Individually, just incredible. And he has a huge following as a result. But there's plenty more where that came from on the side of Navi in terms of player skill. Now, Eurofish now, moving up in the Conqueror, wants to see what kind of presence Navi have over this center cap here. And you can see on the minimap, it's almost geometric the way these two teams are established.
Yeah, Kazna is moving up really slow right now. They want to make sure that there's no Waffentrager around the corner. They have not both Waffentrager spotted, Slide was spotted, Rhino is not spotted. They need to be really careful. If you get caught out by one of those tanks, it's going to cost you a lot.
Pretty much the only tank that's been spotted this round has been an Inspira. That's all that Kazna Kru have been able to glean information-wise about the setup of their opponents, because they know the deeper they go for information, the more risk they're taking, that there is going to be a Waffentrager stat around the corner, ready to let go on you. So they're being tentative, and this is fine. But again, don't let the strategic side of your game dominate. You must get there and get some damage done. You need to fight. Inspira going down towards half now.
Kazna being kind of indecisive. They're moving south, they're moving north. They do not know what to do. You see Elian still on the J line with his Batchet, trying to find out where's the enemy Batchet. Where can I go? Can I take this map control? Can I flank slide right now?
Kazna have a 50B, if I'm not mistaken, up at C0, just looking to see what kind of northern presence they've got. At some point, you have to go for it. There's only so much information that you can safely gain before you move forward. It's about making the correct decision.
Kazna just have to take a risk right now. You can see them moving right now south again, supporting Elian. They're maybe going to try taking out the Batchet. We can see the 50B also coming down from C0. Actually, they're going north again. They really cannot decide what to do.
Eventually, they're going to have to. There's just no two ways about it. Now, they have no idea about Liv Shah being set up on the hill on the north as well, so he's going to be bringing a whole host of problems himself. Now, look at what he can do now, of course, with the new physics. He's just cruising along the top of the hill line. Note that he doesn't really have binocs on at this stage, so actually we can't see on this view. He probably should have them, I guess. But again, he'll push actually even more forward. So trying to spot out again.
Coded optics, yeah. He's just going to sit there. He's going to wait till they start capping, as long as he's not spotted.
He does have the optics there to work with, so... Enough, at least, to see what Kazna Kru are trying to make happen here. It's been another slow one here, and Kazna's success rate on slow rounds has been about the same success rate as their fast rounds in this map. Big fat 0.
Yeah, Lashage just sitting here.
There's no reason to do anything else, really. I mean, you can see good cover for NAVI in general. They're going to Waffentrager out towards the bottom of that city. And it is a game of chess if I've ever seen one. Kazna Kru know they only really have one chance here. That's the thing about Ghost Town. Once you push, you're committed. There is no going back. There's no reversing. There's no getting behind a tree, a rock, a building, a bush. None of that. You have to go and you have to... Well, I guess the problem is you have to follow up and push through on your strategy, right? So you need to pick it very, very carefully.
Kazna right now going for the split, but Navi's prepared. Navi got the Waffentrager ready. They got the FV ready. They're going to push right now. Navi needs to set up their FVs, their waffles, to shoot them in the side.
Stefan and Eli moving up as well. They do have the spot on Anatolich, the proxy spot, but Rhino is there as well. He puts one shot in and he's ready for another one, but he's going to get flanked out as well. Kazna are going to try and work this one from 2 angles, and Rhino's getting disintegrated right now. This push so far seems to have worked. It's going to be Nexus at the front as well as Hyber. The Conqueror going to soak up as much damage as he possibly can, but Navi now starting to wake up, now starting to give as good as they can get, but Inspira was already low after that last fight, and this is Kazna Kru. They will punish you if you sit around too long, and they follow up. They keep pressing forward. Shots towards the Conqueror, not really affecting Kazna in a big way. Navi trying to fight back with as much damage as they can, but Kazna are one armored column, and they're pressing forward.
Right now, Slide and Strike are both on reload. They have to run right now. Navi has to pull back. They have to get safe. They have to reset the game. We got the RU still shooting Kazna in the back.
Reloads as well coming up. For some of these autoloaders, is a bit of a dangerous window. Strake having to back away. As the smoke clears, Navi actually get a head out in that damage. Kiriloid, Slide, still very, very healthy. This man is on reload though, and he won't be able to do anything for the next 15 or so seconds. So it's up to Kazna now to find another target, and they seem to have found Kiriloid. I just said he was looking healthy, but look at this. Kazna Kru descending upon him, and there's only so much he can do in an FV215B. Desnistra and Hyber just trying to take his attention from the backside, but that bounce was a little bit costly. Every second counts here for Kazna Kru as they're trying to keep themselves in this game, and Kiriloid, again, missed shot from Vetso, can't afford to make that kind of mistake. Now Nexus is taking extra damage. Strake is on site. He's ready to lay some damage out, and Kazna Kru may have just fluffed it at the last point. They're down to 2 tanks now, and Strake can back away with one shot maybe as a parting gift, and then he's done and dusted, and that may be the case as well for Kazna Kru as they are running a little bit low on men.
We can see Slide coming in with the Waffentrager, hunting down those FVs. The RU251 is coming in, both really healthy still. Just, they're gonna get obliterated right now.
Oh my god, Slide off Rio now coming through. Kazna Kru tried to hold on. They tried to push forward and get aggressive, but it's gonna blow up in their face. Now as Slide comes in with a few finishing shots, and it is gonna be poor LD Nexus, just sat on the bottom side of the hill. He's bound to fall in a few moments, and Kazna Kru face match point.
Lesha about to finish the FV. He can actually not pen him because it's heat, and he's gonna fire HE right now. He has only HE left, and there goes Nexus.
4-0 here for NAVI. Not missing a beat and definitely not looking like they're slowing down whatsoever. And now, more than ever, it's crunch time for Kazna Kru. All this preparation, all the time they spent preparing for this event, they knew they were coming in as the wild card. They had time to scout their teams, the opponents. But it's not about NAVI anymore. It's about Kazna fighting against themselves. They've said it many times. Our biggest enemy is ourselves. And right now, they need to keep it together. They need to keep the morale up. They need to be talking. That's a big problem. Vetso especially will shut his mouth when he's getting a bit upset.
Kazna spent they did 3 trainings a day for the last 3 weeks, knowing that they were going here. They've prepared for this. They just need to get control of themselves right now. They're 0-4 behind. They need to just go for it right now. This is the one round that's gonna matter.
Ghost Town definitely yielding minimal results for them as well after a very, very disappointing Muravanka. That was Kazna's draw card. They said, we can beat the Russians on Muravanka. Said it to me yesterday, but it didn't perhaps work out the way they planned. And when things don't go how you plan, you need to improvise. It's been an issue for Kazna Kru so far in this game. Power slide, just an incredible match from him as well. He was able to let one clip go, back away to safety in such a way that Kazna still had no read on his position, and it came from a completely unexpected angle. You saw him ambush that first FV215B, and the hearts of Kazna fans around the world fell.
Kazna had the advantage. They moved in, they did it right, they had the right timing, they caught NAVI out. Then the Waffle just reloaded, and they just did their damage. You saw that 4,000 damage, unbelievable.
Huge, huge performance from that man in particular, and now NAVI, again, just seeming cool, calm and collected. It's another day at the office for the boys.
They're looking to take this game 5-0.
It's going to be Cliff to finish things off here as well, and this is throwing back towards Kazna's demise at the last grand finals. They struggled on this map against EL Gaming, but this time they are going to show us what they've got. I think if the pick order is anything like it is in the WGL, this should be Navi's pick as well. So rough times for Kazna. All they need is a bit of aggression, and we know that Cliff can give opportunities to go for these fights, but we saw it blow up in so many teams' faces in the previous days as well. We've seen guys try and go aggressive on Cliff. It was Goldbass versus Navi, in fact, and Navi just shut them right down.
We saw also Kazna yesterday against Eclipse, a really tight match on Cliff with a 2v2 at the end, which Kazna won. It's their best map. It's one of their better maps. They like playing it. It's really light. They can surprise Navi here.
Really in there as well, looking fairly subdued at this stage. It is a thinking time really here for Kazna Kru. Nothing going the way that they would have expected here as well. You've got to go into a game backing yourself at least on your maps, and here they're still well and truly within enemy territory, and it's a hard climb out here. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to see more than just 5 maps. Let's put your hands together, get behind these guys, especially, of course, our challengers here, Kazna Kru. See what they can make happen. Let your cries be heard, of course, as they definitely are a team that rides momentum. You know, we said that, and if Kazna Kru can never get started, often they kind of finish in the same way.
The first couple of rounds is really important for Kazna. Their mentality, how they're feeling, how they're working together. The communication starts lacking in the rounds after if they keep losing round after round after round.
Of course, it's just frustrating. It's sometimes like, you know, banging your head against a brick wall. It seems like that's what Navi have been able to put up in front of Kazna so far. And again, it's like, what's their plan A, B, C? I don't know how long the list is for Kazna Kru. I don't know if they can go for anything crazy here. The vote, of course, favouring Navi, as it should. This team comes into this game as a favourite. This team comes into this round as a hot favourite, no doubt about it. And it is a knife edge. It's a precipice that Kazna Kru balance on as well. We've seen them at, well, grand finals before, and it's not always a happy story for them as well. Once champions of the EU region, they get definitely the format change as well. Definitely affected a lot of teams. Kazna Kru had to adapt a bit themselves here.
Yeah, Kazna changed some players since last grand finals. They've adapted to it. They got their tier 10 players now. Stefan being one of their main players. There's Anith, they're also Elian, really good players. They know what to do. They just need to get their tactical game right.
We've gone from 2 tiebreakers now to what appears to be a little bit of a blowout, and I'd probably say it's fairly similar on the other stream as well. So, you know, we'd like to mix it up for you, ladies and gentlemen, here as well, but it is going to be Cliff. It is going to be the last chance for Kazna Kru. They're hanging on by their very fingertips, but it's go time now. They've got to fire up and take this one. They're going to be on the defensive side as Navi come forward and try to get this finished.
We can see both teams with really medium lineups, a lot of bad jets, TVPs. Both teams want to play aggressive. Navi going to the upper side, 2 batches on the lower side. Kazna also going to the upper side, leaving the RU to see what Navi is doing on the lower side.
So Navi now just pressuring over towards this western side here. It's just going to be Hyber to actually ideally spot out. He himself has been spotted there as well, interestingly enough, as he was on the move. And look at the bat chats of Navi already getting into position. Looks like Kazna might try and go for a fight, but Navi potentially expecting this one. Ilian's going to be out in front. He stops in his tracks. Wait a minute, there's more tanks here than I expected. He's going to get blown up pretty much straight away. His cries are cut off by the shots coming in. And Fitzu is going to suffer a similar fate. Kazna Kru walks straight into this one like all the rounds previous. They're trying to make something happen in the middle of the map here. Slide looking a little bit low. I think he's let all of his shots go. The Kazna Kru already at such a deficit now as well. They've still got 5 to work with, but they're low on health and they're continuing to get lower. Rhino gets one out. Nexus at least responds on towards Anatolis, but Kazna Kru looking beaten, battered, and bruised after that first engagement.
We can see all tanks on reload right now. Haiba needed to get that spot. Elian thought the 1-2 line was empty. Elian moved up. Elian got taken out. The other Batchet got taken out. Kazna just getting caught out fully.
Haiba, of course, knows that there's reload cycles here as well, but there are still tanks that can fire at him. He's just trying to do his very best. He's in the middle of the grinding pit, and it's almost a metaphor for Kazna. Over this last series, Haiba has to back away. Did a good amount of damage. It was a brave attempt from the captain of Kazna Kru, but it may not be enough.
They can still come back. They have the middle, Navi has the 1-2 line. If they take the hill, if they set up the right crossfire, they can make it back. They're 2k HP disadvantage, but they can make it. Now is their moment.
Stefan now just set up in towards the middle of the map, and Eurofish as well. Still have a decent position on the hill. So Kazna Kru at least have that high ground advantage. You saw it's actually what Eclipse gave up to them and allowed them to win that 2v2 on Cliff at the very end. But there are so many hit points still available for Navi's tanks. Lefshar as well, looking pretty good. Rhino may be an exception to this rule, but I'd say the only one at this point.
Navi right now taking map control, slowing it down, making sure they have the north, they have the south. If one of their players gets shot, they will retaliate.
Strike as well. So you can see they're almost drawing a line of scrimmage here from north to south, and they can go for a northern cap. The problem is for Kazna Kru, they don't have anyone to spot an attempt at a northern cap. They're all set up on the hill, so essentially Navi could push 3 up onto that cap and go for it. Maybe a little bit risky, of course, but it's just a way of illustrating how little control Kazna Kru have on the map, sitting themselves up on the top of this hill. And you can see Lefshar there on the move, trying to fire a shot. It's going to miss it. He's trying to spot that hill for the rest of his team, but he's only at this stage seeing Stefan.
So Nexus on the hill with Stefan in the middle. Stefan with his TVP. If one tank gets spotted, he's not spotted. He can do a whole clip and reload. The shot going low. Eurofish is still there. Eurofish can get caught out. He's in a crossfire right here.
We've seen the position towards the south as well, and that's exactly what another Navi Batchat is moving in towards. Nexus has to be very, very careful. He's more vulnerable than he perhaps realizes, but he spotted Strake pretty early. He's able to back away. Strake gets a shot in, but it might not be a second. He should be able to get away. But still, this is map control at its finest for Navi. They're trying to draw the net a little bit closer. They've got an extra tank, an extra gun, and a little bit more health points to run with.
Right now, they're moving up Strike. They're using Strike as bait. Inspirer is covering him. The other Batchet is covering. The RU is covering him. If anyone peeks right now on Strike, he'll be taken out. Eurofish will get shot from behind soon. Stefan also in the middle. The TVP is right now going to shoot him.
Strike does take a hit moving forward as well, but he gets the spot. That's all he had to do. It's going to be Inspire to get the finish off there as well. Just 2 left now for Kazna. Navi know that Nexus is up on the hill. They also know that Eurofish was close by Levshar. Strike, having a lot of health himself, comparatively, can go forward. He can take a shot or 2 to get this information, and now Eurofish might be in grave danger. Yes, he's going to get shot from 2 sides. Neither of them connect him, but Strike can get one in. Eurofish is just going to be caught between 3 and ripped to shreds, and now it's just Nexus up in the lighthouse, but I don't think that's going to give him any guidance in this moment. It's him v3 to keep Kazna alive.
The pressure is just getting to Kazna, making mistakes, really important mistakes. The 1-2 line spot, the biggest mistake this game from Kazna. Nexus left alone, just dancing on the top of the hill. I don't know if he's that happy, but yeah.
And it's all very simple here for Navi. Just need to move forward and finish things off. Lefshar spots Nexus as well. Should be able to rotate the turret and get a cheeky shot across Nexus. Avoids death. No, Navi take it away. And I like a happy story. I like a happy ending. It's not going to be the